And the only thing that I could come up with on the spot was because she likes movies and pudding. This was an extremely embarrassing moment for me. Here I am, a hopeless romantic, and it appears that my longest running relationship is founded on a mutual enjoyment of the snack pack. At the time, I kind of brushed this off. I said, you know what? Love is magical. And I'm not going to feel bad if I can't articulate how it works. Who am I to even try and understand how it works? Love is bigger than us. Love is bigger than rationality. So this is how I justified my response at the time. And 1 year later, I was single. But then I fell in love again. And soon thereafter, I was single. But then I fell in love again, only to once more find myself single. And at that point I said, whoa, this is unacceptable. Something is fundamentally wrong with the way I'm approaching relationships. So I stopped dating and I started thinking. In July 2008, at the end of my last relationship, I wrote a blog post titled The Business of Making Love. This was my first real attempt at applying logic in an area of my life that I had previously considered to be magical. Now, in order to understand the gravity of this change, to get a sense of the tectonic shift that my world was experiencing, I have to bring you back, all the way back to 1987. I'm 7 years old. I'm just beginning to think that maybe girls are kind of interesting. And I see The Princess Bride. One of my favorite movies to this day, The Princess Bride portrays love as being the pinnacle of life. When faced with death, Wesley, the farm boy, says, please, I need to live. When asked what could possibly be so important for him here, he simply replies, true love. When I saw this, I was immediately hooked. I dove headfirst into the bottomless ocean of love, and I did not come up to breathe for the next 20 years. In that time, I put love on a pedestal. I treated it like some supernatural force. I worshipped it almost as one worships a god. And in the beginning, it made me extremely happy. My young life represents some of my most impassioned relationships. But when I had to enter the real world, where I had to pay rent and I had to hold down a job and I had to deal with stress, suddenly things weren't so simple. The flames of passion in each subsequent relationship appeared to burn more briefly than ever before. I feared that this God of love had forsaken me as I found myself slipping from one failed relationship into another. Which brings us back to 2008 and my first revelation. Love is not enough. For years, not only had I believed that love was enough, I had believed that love was everything. But one can only fall out of love so many times before this notion becomes absurd. So I took some time to reflect and to listen to my thoughts, and I had a second revelation, this time involving Dare to Be Great situations. When I see these situations in movies, I always fantasize about putting myself in the lead role. But as I watched these fantasies play out in my head, I realized that the other people involved were inconsequential. The only thing of any importance was the fact that I was the one saving the day. These Dare to Be Great fantasies were about me becoming the best version of myself. Now this got me thinking about fantasy in general, and I started to look at the way I fantasize about relationships. And I realized that my romantic fantasies are not about other people. Of course, other people are involved, but they are not the focus. Rather, I spend time concentrating on the way I would act, on the way I would feel. I was fantasizing about the type of person I could become. And when I realized this, suddenly something clicked. I came to understand that love Love is not some externalized force to which we are subservient. Love is always inside of us. And the expression of that love is nothing more than the byproduct of self-actualization. The love that we give to others is the means by which we can finally become the people that we want to be. Now at first, this might not sound romantic. The archaic part of me still wants to fight this. But once you accept that love is the conscious expression of one's inner being, not only is it deeply romantic, but for the first time ever, it becomes personal. And it becomes purposeful. And it might just be the most empowering thing that you ever come to understand. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if we can follow that, so that means we're done. Ladies and gentlemen,